Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coming Up Milhouse. The three of us are here to talk about Season 3, Episode 9, which is one of my favorites. It's Flaming Moe's. George, what's this episode about?
Oh, this episode is about many things, but mostly it's about Homer goes to Moe's Tavern to get a beer, but Moe doesn't have any beer because he's been having problems paying his bills, and Homer gets a little upset about this, but he remembers a drink that he invented himself that he calls the Flaming Homer, and it's basically a mixture of many different liquors and some cough syrup, and when you light it on fire, it tastes really good. Well, Moe gets a wind of this, and he decides that he's going to take credit for the drink, and it brings a bunch of people into his business and saves Moe's Tavern. But Homer is a little upset because he actually created it and isn't getting any credit. And that's the basic idea here, and it is a foil for a lot of silly, funny antics, I believe. It is very, very good.
So would you like to start us off with your favorite first line?
Yes, so my first line has to do with when Homer goes to Moe's and he asks for his beer, and Moe explains that he doesn't have any beer because he couldn't pay his bill. Out of desperation, Homer sticks his mouth on the tap and he's trying to get the last little drops out, and Moe says, "You're too late, Homer. Bonnie sucked it dry. Cut his gums up pretty bad."
Yeah. Ew.
Yeah. And then Homer's like, "Ooh." And I just like the line because it brings Barney into his, enthusiasm for beer as well.
Absolutely.
So what's your first line?
My first favorite line is also in that same scene. There's another guy in the bar, and he's actually using the love tester machine that Moe spent $10,000 on, that we see later in other episodes as well. And the guy's kind of coughing, and so Moe is like, "Here, try this," and slides a Flaming Moe down the bar, and the guy says, "Hey, this drink is delicious, and my phlegm feels looser too."
That guy was so annoyed too, he's like, "I want my quarter back,"
My nickel, George.
Or nickel, yeah, it wasn't even a quarter. And and he's like, my throat feels better. So that was the beginning of the Flaming Moe saving the bar and bringing in people. So I like that. All right, so my second line, I went back and forth because there's lots of good ones here.
Good ones in here.
And I just picked one at random that I found humorous. So when Moe starts to get successful, he puts out a big sign on his marquee that says Flaming Moe's, and the Mayor Quimby, is out there to dedicate it, and he says, "Henceforth, today will be known as Flaming Moe's Day." And one of his goons says, "Mayor, it's already Veterans Day." And Quimby says, "It can be two things."
I like that one too.
It just struck me as funny, so I threw it on there. There's lots of good ones, though.
There are.
Yeah.
So my second line is my favorite line from the entire episode. And Homer and Marge are talking about this, and Homer's really upset this whole episode about how, he invented this drink, and he walked into the bar and he called it a Flaming Homer, but immediately with the guy with the phlegm, Moe was like, "It's called a Flaming Moe! It's a Flaming Moe! I invented it! It's a Flaming Moe!" So anyway, Homer's just really distraught this whole episode, and he and Marge are talking about it, and Marge is trying to calm him down, and she says, "Oh, well, think about how many people you're making happy." And he says, "Oh, look at me. I'm making people happy. I'm the magical man from Happy Land in a gumdrop house on Lollipop Lane." Oh, by the way, I was being sarcastic.
And she's like, "Well, duh." That was a great line. I almost put it down, but I just, it's one of the ones that stands out. It's so funny. And his delivery of it. Yeah. He's just so frustrated, and that's how he takes it out. So I like that.
The entire episode, he's very frustrated.
So let's move on to scenes. Do you want to give me your favorite scene?
This was a tough one as well for me because there are some really great scenes. So I'm going to go with the slumber party at the beginning of the episode. So Lisa's having 5 friends over, or 4 friends, over for a slumber party, and they're upstairs cackling, and they're just they're plotting for their truth or dare game. They're just having a really good time. And Bart, of course, falls victim to some of their truth or dares. And my favorite part of that is there's a chase scene because they want to give Bart a makeover. So Bart is running through the house, and it's like this great action film, and he's knocking down chairs and putting barricades up, and he gets up to his room and he locks his door. And then all of a sudden the girls are so smart that they are using a drill to unscrew the bolts to get the door open because he locked the door. So they're breaking into his room, and his only chance for escape is to jump out the window. And so he jumps from the 2nd floor window onto the ground, and they don't pay any attention to this. It's just like, okay, whatever, they're done. And they turn, and Maggie's there, and so they end up giving Maggie the world's worst makeover.
And his jump is like, he's like resigning to his fate. He's
just like,
he knows it's like he's not going to survive. He just like falls out the window.
He just does. He doesn't, there's no chance for trying to grab a tree or anything. He's just like, the slumber party is worse than death.
The fall out the window is preferable to getting a makeover.
By these girls. So that's my favorite scene.
That is a good one. I like that. So my scene is, I was waffling between 2. So I was going to go with the Cheers parody song, but I decided you guys probably want to hear me sing that. So instead, when Homer gets frustrated with Moe's success and he decides he's done with Moe's, and Moe, you lost yourself a customer, even though Moe couldn't hear any of that, he decides to find another bar. So he goes to this seedy part of town, and he's like, ooh, my new watering hole, and walks in, and the bartender immediately shoves a shotgun in his face, a double barrel.
Yep.
And he's like, what do you want?
Great customer service.
And Homer's like, a beer. And the guy's like, okay. And gives him a beer in a dirty glass.
It's disgusting.
And Homer's like, can I have a clean glass? And the guy is like, spits on it, wipes it. Here you go, your majesty. And then it cuts to Homer home, sitting on the couch, being all surly. Brilliant. It was
Spits on it
so
and
funny.
wipes it off with his really nasty dirty
apron.
shirt or apron, whatever. It was gross. So
it was so funny.
Not clean at all.
But the icing on the cake was, here you go, your majesty. That was great.
It's good. And Homer was the only customer in that bar for good reason, I think.
Yeah. So. I'm surprised that guy even has a business.
Right,
So what are you gonna do?
It's pretty good.
All right, so we're on to winners and losers. Which one do you want to do first?
Well, so obviously, I just have to make a point that obviously, Moe was a good choice for a winner, and Homer was obviously a good choice for a loser, but I didn't go with either of those two.
Neither did I.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's too easy.
So, let's go with your loser first.
My loser is Bart. But not for the jumping out of the window scene. There's another scene where when Moe's is packed full of people, Bart's gag is always to call Moe and do a prank call. But this time the call backfires, so he calls Moe and he asks for huge ass. And when Moe says it, it comes out huge ass. So he's like, huge ass? Is there a huge ass?
Go check the men's room for a huge ass.
Yeah. And then a guy named Huge Ass steps up and he's like, I'm Huge Ass. He has phone for you. And then he talks to Bart. And Bart's like, this is a prank call that kind of backfired, so I'm going to hang up now. And he hangs up. And that is funny to me because Bart has always got one over on Moe when he does these prank calls, but this is the one time
that he doesn't.
And so he was my loser.
Your loser. Well, I went completely obscure. And so Flaming Moe's is really popular with the celebrities, and the paparazzi is out in front of the bar, and they're taking pictures of all the celebrities, and Krusty the Clown gets out of his limo, and a paparazzi takes his picture and immediately gets punched to the ground by Krusty the Clown. So that paparazzi is my loser for the episode.
That is a good one, and I thought of that one too. I was looking for, candidates. That was certainly a candidate for me, so that was a great pick. All right, you want to give me your winner?
Sure. So my winner I went with Aerosmith. And they might have actually been like winners and losers in this episode, so let me explain that as well. But I picked them for winners because they are drinking some tasty beverages at Flaming Moe's, and they're just chilling at a corner booth that is obviously new because I don't think Moe has ever had a corner booth or a snazzy bar, even though it goes back to the same bar after the episode is over, so whatever. They are there, and Moe invites them to come up on stage and perform, and they're just like, we're just hanging out. They are winners because Moe offers them some free pickled eggs,
and they're like,
yeah, let's go! And so they went up on stage and they performed, and, had a concert. So they're winners for that. They're also losers because they're performing in Moe's Tavern in Springfield, and later on in the episode, Homer falls on them.
Mm-hmm.
So, juggle there. They could have been both, but I'm going to go with winners.
I dig it. Dig it. Good
How
job.
about you?
So I decided my winner was the Tipsy McStaggart guy. So there's this guy trying to get the recipe from Moe the whole time, and he siphons a bit of it off and takes it to a lab, and there's one secret ingredient that can't crack, and that is cough syrup. And he's about to pay Moe $1 million. Mm-hmm. But then Homer lets the cat out of the bag to stick it to Moe, and now the guy knows it's cough syrup. He doesn't have to pay Moe $1 million, and now he can go off and reap untold fortunes from this. So it's, like I said, it's not a good win. It's kind of a nefarious win, but he won. He did not have to pay $1 million.
True. So that's a good winner, George.
I like it. All right. Anything else to say about Flaming Moe's?
There are just some other good lines in here. When Homer was inventing the drink, it's because he's watching Patty and Selma's slideshow, which Patty and Selma are not his favorite. And so he goes and he dumps all the alcohol that he has in the house into a blender, and this was just a good contender line, was, it passed the first test. I didn't go blind.
And it was lit by Patty's cigarette.
Yeah, the ashes in the cigarette. So I thought that was good. So.
Yep. Flaming Moe's, it's one of my all-time memorable favorite ones. Like, if you were to put me on the spot and say, give me your top 5 Simpson episodes, and I didn't have time to think about it, I just had to rattle them off.
Yeah, that would be one.
I'd say Flaming Moe's is probably one of them. Absolutely. Good stuff. I really liked it. And thanks for watching.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you'd like to subscribe, we have a button down there.
Down over here.
It's over here. Give it a punch. Give us a like. Make some comments. All that good stuff helps us out. We appreciate it. So that is our episode for this week. Flaming Moe's.
Until the next
time.
Jiminy
Jillikers.